Hey everybody, it's Maggie from Personal Euphoria with today's plank story. If you don't want to do plank, you're going to interlock your fingers and press your arms out in front of your chest, and then you're going to round forward and then lift up, reach overhead and bend back. So those arms are always interlocked overhead or pressing forward, and go up and round forward. So you're rounding, bending back and lifting the chin, looking up to the ceiling, rounding and lifting. Oh, that feels so delicious. Who would choose plank if you had the choice? You didn't hear me say that. All right. So this weekend, Matt and I went back to Quebec City for the second time. And I've got to say, I think it is one of my favorite cities. It is gorgeous. It's romantic. The food is out of this world. If you're coming from the US, your dollar goes a long way there. The people are friendly. The service is great. And there's so many fun activities you can do. Also, everyone there seems to speak English. So if you haven't brushed up in your French, you can get by very easily. But so we went back to the Ice Hotel, this time not to sleep, just to see it, because it's the artistry of it that's really fantastic. That I cannot recommend enough. It is magical. So I would put on your bucket list this Ice Hotel. They build it every December, I think, tear it down in March. It's got a new theme every year. I didn't like this year's theme as much as 2 years ago when we went, but it's still very cool, right? So I don't think you can go wrong there. And then what I was really excited about was doing ice canoeing, which I had never done before. And you really can't do this many places except on the St. Lawrence, because it's a moving river that gets so cold it freezes, and they now break up the ice so that they can keep, ships coming through and whatnot. But it is a river filled with ice. So, I like trying all these new things, but if I'm honest, I'm often very nervous beforehand. I'm nervous I'm going to get cold. I'm nervous I won't have enough warm gear, or I won't be properly prepared. I'm usually nervous about falling in the water, or whether I'll be good at it. I'm nervous for so many reasons. And I went into this really not that nervous, to the point where I was like, I'm so not nervous, it's making me nervous. Why am I not nervous? And I said that to Matt in the morning, which I think gave him a good chuckle. And I said, one of the things, right or wrong, is I'm like, we're in Canadians' hands. Canada's so safe, and they're going to be okay, and they're going to make sure we're safe. That may have been a silly presumption, but that was my presumption. Canadians, they'll just keep us safe. So we get there and they give us gear, you have to wear these special booty things that come up to your knees, multiple layers of booties. They make sure we're dressed appropriately. And then they sit us in the canoes and they teach us everything we're going to have to do and what's going to happen. And in each canoe, there's 3 tourists and 2 guides, and the guides are at the front and the back. And so Matt and I were in one, and there was this family of 4, and the father and 2 kids are put in one, and the wife was put with us. And then there were other people on different canoes that we didn't really engage with. And you get the canoe in the water, and you have to step into the water. And I was amazed. You cannot feel how cold this water is. Whatever booties they put on us, not even a little cold. At which point I'm like, oh, right, there's nothing. If I'm not going to get cold, I'm not nervous at all. So you get in, and it's basically like rowing. You're all single file, and just like if you'd see people rowing on a boat, you are rowing while you're in water. And then when you hit an iceberg that is too big to row through, it's a little bit like a dance. You don't want the boat to get too tippy, although it's pretty stable. But you communicate and you all sort of rotate to the edge of the boat simultaneously so that you don't do it uneven. But you go from rowing to rotating to facing the other direction. So you're on all 4s, holding onto a bar with one shin in a platform and your other leg outside the boat, and that leg you push against the ice and you move the boat forward. Then when you get to water again, you flip yourself back to your row position and you row like you would normally row. Okay, we practice this on land. We're in the water. It's the first time we've hit ice. And we, as a team, rotate into our all 4s and we start pushing on this ice. And the woman, the wife of the other family, is in front of me. We do 2 pushes, and on our side of the boat, the ice gives out, which can happen, but it's just gone. And she falls in the water, completely falls out of the boat. I like to think I tried to grab her. It was all so fast, I don't even know. But she went under me, but she's like trying to grab the boat. She's getting it. But we have forward momentum, and she's in the water, thankfully not under ice. And again, she like grabs the boat as we come to the end of the boat. The guide there grabs onto her. If I'm honest, it didn't look like anyone was prepared for this. Like, the shock on our guides' faces was unbelievable. They get her out of the water. We paddle like to a safer iceberg where we can all get out of the canoe. The like lead guy comes over. And this woman is clearly in shock, right? So she thankfully wasn't hurt, but she kept saying, like, I'm not cold. And I kept thinking, how is this woman not cold? These booties only go up to our knees. She went underwater. And the lead guy is like, listen, we need you to get on all fours and do the scoot again, or you're going to get cold. You have to keep warm. And she understandably is like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be half in, half out of this boat. So they decide to take her son comes with us, and she and the rest of her family go back to go in the sauna and get warm. So again, she was fine, but now I'm nervous. I'm like, how easy is it to fall out of this boat? And the ice breaks under your foot a lot. So I'm like not sure how much body weight to put in that leg. And they had told us in the training, like, make sure your body weight's over the boat, but you'll do that instinctively. You won't hang off the boat. But I still like now couldn't tell how much weight to put outside the boat. That sounds scary. I do think falling out of the boat is an oddity, in part because this whole group of people did not seem to think this was something that happened. And they said no one has ever fallen out like in this moment in time. So I hope they'll train for that in the future. They'll also give us like tourist tips for what to do. I wouldn't not recommend it. I would totally do it again. It was still fun, very interesting. Like, it's cool to be rowing on the water through ice. And I do think the boats are generally pretty sturdy. I think a bunch of things went wrong all at once. But anyway, ultimately, she was safe. And I did go from having no nerves to all my nerves brought back right away. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful day and keep moving. And I hope if you haven't been to Quebec City, you put it on your list. Because even if I didn't sell you on ice canoeing, there is so much more there. It is a fabulous city. Have a great day and keep moving.